Azucena was released as a pretty much perfect character, and she was considered to be one of the strongest for a very long time, until recently, where she took major hits to many of her key moves. But in patch 105, she's getting some love to compensate for the previous nerfs. This patch brought big, exciting buffs to her stance and to her combo game. So let's talk about those and how it affects the character. Azucena's combo game was kind of lackluster. We didn't have many options and all the combos kind of looked the same. So now we are getting a new strong aerial tailspin move in back turn 3. After back turn 3, she recovers in Liberator stance and you can continue the combo with Liberator 4-1 or 1+2. This is already a pretty big buff, and after messing around for a few minutes you can already come up with higher damage staple combos. If we consider this a staple, it's 63. With the new back turn 3 combos, you can already do an easy 66. Which is a big damage jump compared to her old staple combos, and even compared to the super hard combos that you could do for 65. I'm actually surprised that I didn't drop it, but now you can do easier combos for even more damage. So this works on many launchers, like down forward 2, while standing 2. There are some inconsistencies, but she always used to have those. Especially with the Liberator 4-1-2 string, where you had to delay part of the string, or like the beginning of the string, to make it consistent. But if you know, it's not a big deal. Another cool combo that you can now do is manual transition into back turn 3, and then go from there. So as you can see, you can now get 82 damage of down 1 on counter hit. The previous combo was something like this. So it's a 6 damage difference already. And again, people are probably going to come up with better combos than I am. It works on launchers where you have a lot of time for a pickup. So like down 1 or counter hits 1+2. It works on down forward 3 on counter hit, but you need to sidestep. And it's a really big damage buff for back turned 3+4 because she recovers back turned. So it now deals 81 damage compared to the previous combo. That was only 70, so it's a 10 damage buff. The back turn 3 tailspin also opens up new options for her heat mini dashes, like back 2 and Liberator 1-2. Another buff that really helps her combo game is the buff to down to 3, which was sped up by 1 frame. Not only does this make this move better in general, but it actually enables her to do combo paths that were not possible before, like launch, then forward 3, into down to 3. This is particularly useful after her up forward 4. Because previously you used to pick up with down forward 1, but now you can do up forward 4, down forward 3, and connect with the follow-up, which is 4 more damage. As you can see, the second hit does 11 damage, down forward 1 only does 7 damage. You can also do the same combo after down forward 2, and it's going to be 66 damage as well, just like the other combo that I talked about. So you have 2 nice and easy options that deal more damage compared to our previous staples. And pretty much every launcher has increased in damage because of these 2 little changes. It's quite a big buff in my opinion, and it's like day 1 combos that I'm doing here. And people are probably going to optimize these and her combo damage will be even higher. So that's pretty cool, because I think, yeah, her combos kind of sucked before that. And they are still going to look pretty much the same, because it's always going to be some move that tail spins and puts her into Liberator stance, and then she probably does this. It's slightly more variety, but it's higher damage, a bit more flexibility, a few more options, so it's nice, you know? Great buffs. Now let's talk about the changes not related to combos. Her 1-1, which was just nerfed in the previous patch to be now unsafe, was buffed this patch. It can now be delayed, but as you can see here, it does no longer combo on delay. You have to commit right away, and on counter hit, it knocks down for a guaranteed Liberator 1+2. This change is a cute buff, but I don't think it's worth the risk. Forward 3+4 now knocks down for a guaranteed follow-up. It puts you into Liberator stance, and if you stay in Liberator stance, you can do 1+2. If you do forward 3+4 back, she goes into back turn stance. You are getting back turned free, which means this move has turned into a 46 damage mid. That's +4 on block and can go into both stances. It has crazy range. The tracking sucks, so that's the weakness, but I think this move is really good. I think this move was really good before, so I'm kind of surprised that we are getting a buff like that. It's a lot of damage. Great. Can't complain. I think this move is amazing. Forward 1+2 was actually nerfed. It received a slight nerf on its range. Although the range is still really good, it hits from almost range 3. It's ridiculous to think that it had even more range. It has less tracking now, which I don't think is that big of a deal, because it's a power crush and you should be using this when you think your opponent is going to attack. It now has no pushback on block, which is huge, and it went from -8 on block to -9 on block, which doesn't make a difference, but no pushback is huge. Despite all these nerfs, I think this is the best power crush in the game. It's still super fast. I'm not sure if there's a faster power crush. It has still ridiculous range. It's completely safe. It's a heat engager. So yeah, I still think this is the best power crush in the game, even after the nerfs. 1+2 damage has been decreased by 3, which doesn't really matter because it's a counter hit launcher. And also her combo damage has been increased in the same patch. So yeah, not a big deal. She can now manually transition into her stances from crouch with forward 3+4 and back 3+4, and the recovery frames on her manual back turn transition are reduced by 3 frames. Down 4-1 can now be cancelled into Liberator stance by holding forward. I think this is pretty useless. It's kind of slow and it looks really stupid, but I know for some people that's even more reason to use it. So there you go. She can now go into back turn stance after down forward 1-4. This change is huge. Not only is this really deceptive, because on the third hit she also does turn around, so it's really hard to see, but it's faster than the old transition that she had into Liberator stance, because she cancels the third hit, and with this one she goes into back turn after the second hit, and her back turn stance is much better for mix-ups. And if they are afraid of the follow-ups, you can start mixing them up with back turn 3 and back turn 2. And you still have a quick counter hit option. Back turn 1-2 now deals 6 chip damage on block. The second hit on Liberator 3-1 now always knocks down for guaranteed follow-up. The only context where it matters is if you actually counter hit with the low, and you're getting a pretty huge combo, so that's nice. But in general, I'd be pretty conservative with the usage of this move, because on block it's -10 and you are back turned, so they can launch you unless you do the parry. And if they anticipate you doing the parry, they can like follow up and launch you anyway. Pretty risky, but I guess it is another counter hit tool that she has that's now more rewarding. Liberator 4 went from being -6 on block to -3, and the second hit, Liberator 4-1, is now only -1. It used to be -2. This is a really big buff. This move was really good before, and now it's even better. There was always the threat of an extension, but at -6 you kind of were afraid to keep attacking. But at -3 you can leverage these mental frames much better. And keep in mind that Liberator 4-1 is a counter hit launcher. So if they get annoyed and they attack after the first one, but too late and get counter hit, it's going to be a launch. And if they attack into the second hit and you do the last hit as well, it's also going to be a launch, because the second hit on counter hit guarantees the third hit for another combo. So if they are impatient, and you can't blame them because this is like really annoying, there's a good chance they are going to get launched. So this string, really good now. Keep in mind there's also mid after the kick, Liberator 4-2, although it's -13. But it's there, so your opponent does not automatically duck every time, because there is the threat of a mid. And if they just block the second hit, you're just -1. And if you're feeling like they're going to attack after the second hit, you can still do the third hit. And it's a normal hit launcher, and it's only -10. It's a really good string, really annoying. It's going to be really obnoxious to deal with. It's a pretty big buff to her Liberator stance, in my opinion. It's really nice. Overall, they have made her stances less clunky. They do feel more responsive now. I really like down forward 1-4 back. Her backhand stance is just really good, and her combo game received a big buff. So her damage in general is going to be higher. So yeah, she's looking really good now. I did not expect her to recover from her nerfs this soon. She's still worse than she was pre-nerf, but for the most part I think she is looking pretty good. I really dislike the 2-1 nerf, now being -7. I'm just not a fan of Namco prescribing playstyles for their characters, and this is like a functional nerf. This changes how we have to play this character. I'm not a fan. I like poking, I like safe poking. They don't, not on Azucena, so we have to use stances more, I guess. But it is what it is. Anyways, what are your thoughts on Azucena? The nerfs, the buffs, the direction the character is going? And if you found this video useful, please consider subscribing for more future teching content. It would help out a lot. Thanks for watching, and see ya.